Hi friends, I'm Jocelyn Peters. I'm the maker and designer behind Mountain Song Designs, and welcome to this knitting episode. Let's chat about a sale I have going on right now, some designs that are coming soon, and what's on my needles. Let's get to it. All right, guys, it's been a while, but I want to make sure that you know about a sale that I have going on in my shops right now. You'll find my patterns on Ravelry and on Etsy. On Etsy, I'm MTN Song Designs, Ravelry, Jocelyn Peters, or Mountain Song Designs. But I have 4 patterns on sale right now. 2 of them are sock patterns. You've seen these recently if you have watched this before. These are my It Begins with socks, inspired by A Discovery of Witches and Dumbledore's Army Socks, inspired by Dumbledore and Harry Potter. You can see this cool gemstone kind of lace there. So Discovery of Witches, Harry Potter. Also, I have my Whomping Willow warmer. It's a cowl. It is so squishy. It's made of bulky weight yarn. This is the tall. There's also a short and a medium. Here's the short. This only uses one skein. There we go. One skein of yarn. The medium and tall use 2 skeins. You might be able to get away with a little less for the medium if you're managing your yarn, but count on 2. And the 4th one is my Falliday cowl. Here it is. You can see the witch's broom there into that fun cabling. So we've got some cables and lace. I love how this fits. I also made it in a Christmas yarn because it looks kind of like a Christmas tree. Here it is. I was gonna call it Hold My Broom because a witch inspired, but I thought, it's perfect for Christmas too, so we'll just go with Falliday. Falliday. So witch's broom inspired by witches. Whomping Willow, of course, is Harry Potter, and I showed you the other 2 inspired by A Discovery of Witches and Harry Potter. So these are all witchy-inspired, witch and wizard inspired patterns. They are on sale now. If you go to Etsy through November 1st, it's automatic 25% off. If you go to Ravelry, use the code ALLSOULS25 to get 25% off of those patterns. I thought it was a great way to celebrate the upcoming Halloween. I love Halloween. I hope you do too. Also, I'm doing a real-time read-along, my first one ever, of A Discovery of Witches. If you've watched this before, you know I love A Discovery of Witches. The 5th book in the series just came out in, I think, July. I'd have to look back. These months have been flying by, so I'm losing track of time, but that was, when my It Begins with Socks, which is inspired by those books, came out this in celebration of when the 5th book came out. Love them all, but I'm reading it in the real time because the story actually happens from September 18th through November 1st. And so each day that the plot line thickens, each day in the book, I read that date worth of chapters. I'm participating through Instagram. All Souls DG, or discussion group, is the Instagram account that I'm kind of keeping up with and enjoying that so much. There's going to be a real-time read-along for the 2nd book, Shadow of Night, so I'm looking forward to enjoying that too. If that's something you are interested in, join in. It's so much fun. So that is the sale that I have going on. Let's get into designs that are coming out in the next month. Next month, I will be adding 3 new patterns to my shops on Etsy and Ravelry. 2 of them will be brand new patterns, and the 3rd one will be on major discount when it hits my shop. So always follow my Substack newsletter. It's Mountain Song Designs. That's where I post all of my pattern release information. It gives you all the information about the inspiration, the pattern details, what you need to make the pattern, and of course the best discounts. So check out Substack, subscribe there. I also share more fun kinds of posts. It's not all about patterns. Sometimes it's just knitting related and life as it relates to knitting. So follow me there. I hope you'll enjoy reading that. Now, the first new pattern, I have shown you this before. It's my knitting bee quilt. It's huge and squishy and gorgeous, and y'all, it's seamless. Oh yes. I wanted a square quilt kind of a looking blanket because I love quilting, but I don't have time to sit down and quilt, but I have time to sit and knit while I'm doing other things. So I wanted a pieced look with these squares, but that I don't have to sit there and sew all the squares together when I'm done. So this is designed intentionally. You knit the lace squares and then you connect them all with the garter. This is worsted weight, Karen, 1 pound. It's a heavy worsted. I use just over 1 skein of each color. If you have 2 skeins of each, you'll have plenty. But the cool thing about this is that the way it's designed, you can knit this with pretty much any weight yarn. I would not go with lace necessarily. That probably would be too small. Although, hey, if you want to try it, go for it. But I have another sample that I am so close to finishing that I want to share with you. It's a fingering weight. Now, fingering weight blankets take a long time, but I have knit this in about the past, probably 7 or 8 months. You've seen the squares, and here it is, you guys. It's folded in half though, because it's actually really big. So here's half. Oh my goodness. And then the other. Look at these. How fun is this? So this is my stash. And I tried to have sort of a gray with speckles connecting squares, and then just all of the other colors as my lace squares. My daughter has already claimed this, so once again, I don't get a blanket, but that's okay. I know that she will love it. I love the point in knitting a blanket when you get to basically just wear it as your blanket. You're knitting on it and you're working on it, but you get to enjoy it as the actual blanket because it's so big. And I'm at that point, and oh, it is so nice because it's warm, but it's not super heavy because of the fingering weight, but it is just squishy enough, just enough weight. I am loving this, and I have 3 squares left and the border. So by the next time you see me, it will be done. So that is the Knitting Bee quilt. That is tentatively coming out November 14th. That's a Thursday. Follow on Substack to get all of that. And also Instagram, Mountain Song Designs on Instagram. I post things there. Best discounts are in Substack. Okay, now I also have another sock pattern that was previously published that will be coming out the next week on the 21st. The best discount you're going to get is going to be on Substack. I might put it on Instagram, but I'm not sure. So make sure you're on Substack so you know when that comes out. And the third pattern, I don't have it with me at the moment, but the next time I film, I will be sharing those with you. But the third pattern that I have coming out next month is also a sock pattern, and it's DK weight. Y'all look at this. Oh my goodness. These are Fade into Neverland DK socks. Now you may remember, if you've been following me some and knit some of my patterns, I have a Fade into Neverland fingering weight sock, and it is so cool, you guys. This is toe up, but look at the heel. Oh yeah, it looks like a heel flap and gusset, right? Well, that's because it fits like one. For the original Fade into Neverland socks, I had to kind of reverse engineer a heel flap and gusset fit using a really cool technique that I have never seen on socks like this before, used in this way. And I made it for DK because it's such a cool heel. And I was like, I love DK socks. They're squishy. They're lovely. This yarn, this is Gabie's Knit Goodies on Etsy. She's also on Instagram. This is Caramel Macchiato and Monet Water Lilies. I just think they're so pretty together. She also has a colorway, I think it's called Gooseberry, that would be so beautiful with this as well. It's more of a purpley color, pinky purpley color. It's probably about that tone or so, somewhere in there. Would look really lovely. This is squishy and soft and wonderful. And when I create a new heel, of course, I have to knit all the sizes. So check out what I have been doing. I have a large. In fact, I have 2 larges. Aren't these pretty? Now, the recipient of larges in my family prefers shorty socks, so that's what these are. This is actually a different yarn base, but it still works. It's a different yarn dyer, still DK weight, still works for the pattern. And now this is a whip, but it won't be for long. Here in about a day, it's going to be done because it's so quick. But let me get the finished one. First sock, here we go. Monet Water Lilies, as from the original sample. And this is the other yarn dyer, like the size large. So as you can see, it still goes together, even though it's 2 different yarn dyers. I was using Stash because I needed it. I wanted to make it quick. So I used Stash, and I think it's so pretty together. But I also kind of wish I had gotten the Gooseberry now. But, you know, you do what you do, and you hope for the best. And I'm excited about this. So this is the small. Now, because I was using Stash and trying to manage yarn, I didn't do the fade here at the top, but that's the cool thing about when you're knitting a pattern. You can knit it as written exactly to the letter, or if you have a different need for your yarn, if you only want to do 1 fade and then finish the rest, you absolutely can. This pattern, you could knit it with all 1 skein. Now, I don't know if you'd have enough for both of your socks. It depends on your size and all that. But that's also the cool thing about toe-up socks, right? As long as you measure your yarn, you weigh it before you start, don't use more than half and you'll be fine, right? So that is what I've been working on. And the second sock is so close to done. I'm so close. I think I have like 2 more rounds and then the cuff. So that is what I have coming out. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, I have a couple other finished objects I'd like to share with you. First of all, I made a fingering weight version of my Fade into Neverland socks. I had this gorgeous purple sock yarn. I had already made a pair of socks. They are my favorite work socks. I wear them in my boots. I work. We have a farm, so when I'm out working, I want a nice cozy pair of boot socks that will fit perfect. And these, I have a pair that are in this already. Love them. So I wanted another. Well, I needed a full size because, you know, wearing them under boots. So I did sort of a variation. I just did a 1x1 fade here on both of them. Yes, I ended up with 1 extra round because I wanted to use up all of my yarn, and I did. So honestly, I don't even remember what the brand is. I lost the ball band. I bought this at, I think at Ocean City. On the boardwalk, there was a yarn store that I went into one time. It's been a long time, but I do know the top color is Croy Sock yarn. It's their marled gray. There's probably an official name. Again, I lost the ball band, but these are a finished object. I love having socks with me on the go. I'm out and about an awful lot, and it's great to have something small, easy to work on while I'm out. Now, I have another fun little FO. My daughter, the one who already wanted my blanket, she came to me and asked me for a sweater. She wanted a sweater for her friend Peach. And so Peach has a sweater. Check this out. How adorable is Peach? And her sweater. Oh, there's Buzz. Yeah, so this little sweater, I started at the neck and I thought, it's probably about this many stitches. So I cast it on, and I had planned to make a roll hem for all of them because it's easy and simple and straightforward. And I thought, well, I bet if I increase these stitches in some places, it'll end up working out. And it did. And I ended up doing kind of an afterthought sleeve for these. I didn't want a whole lot of fuss, but I wanted to make it look pretty, sweaterish. So I ended up going back and forth, adding 3 rows here instead of just the 1, and on the back having 3, and then cutting in later and adding my sleeves as afterthought sleeves. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so simple, easy little project. There were like 10 ends to weave in, which for me seems like a lot, and maybe it shouldn't seem like a lot, but it's done. And Peach is cozy, so we're good. So that is an FO. The only things I have left to share, I'm actually not going to hold up for you. One of them is my work in progress, my whip that is a purple crochet blanket. I shared it with you the last time. I don't have that much more done on it, and quite honestly, it is just twin size C of what I think might be called a marshmallow stitch. So I went to this class, my kids are in this class, and I'm sitting by this other mom, and there's this big heap of like purple sparkly crochet, and I look at it, I was like, is that the single double crochet stitch? She said, well, it's a marshmallow stitch. I said, yes, this is my blanket. I'm knitting the same blanket as this other lady I had never met, except hers has sparkle. Mine doesn't have sparkle. I'm a little jealous of the sparkle, but it's okay. But yeah, we're like making the same blanket randomly. I think that is so neat. Maybe it isn't, but I think it is. So, yeah, so I'm working on that. It is coming slowly but surely. I've been really focusing on my fingering weight blanket, the knitting Bee Quilt. So once that's done, I can make a little more headway on some of these others. Also, I have put, I think 40 to 50 more rows on my Shetland Stars lace shawl. It's a Shetland lace shawl. I will share a picture here. So it doesn't look like much because this is cobweb weight yarn. It's from the Gossamer Web on Etsy. It's gorgeous and I love it, but it takes a lot of time. So I'm getting through it, and I'm hoping to get back to more of it once I get a couple of these other projects off the needles. So that's what I have for my whips and FOs. So now I'd like to share with you a book I read since last time. All right, the final thing I'd like to share with you is a book I recently read. It is called Funny Story by Emily Henry. Now, if you've watched this before, you may have heard me share Emily Henry books before because I love her books. Her writing is fantastic. It's light, it's easy, but it's meaningful. She creates really interesting characters and plausible plot lines that are just really entertaining, sometimes thought-provoking, and in this case, it was all of those things. I love these characters, and the situation that they're in is not very comfortable. The two main characters were both dumped, and their exes are now getting married. So they aren't very happy, and they're trying to work through those emotions and work through just, life and life responsibilities. But something that was in this book that makes it special, as far as I'm concerned, compared to a lot of books. Obviously, relationships tend to form the core of any plot. They keep it moving, things that happen within those relationships. But one type of relationship that I don't think is represented very well are parent-child relationships that are not necessarily positive in a variety of ways. But the two main characters each have their own issues that they have to work through and navigate, and it was very well written. Sometimes some of the parent, I don't know if you call it tropes, the behaviors are kind of hallmarked away. And I love Hallmark. Don't get me wrong. I love Hallmark, but it's, narcissistic types of behavior that is just, oh, well, the parents saw the light and now everybody's happy and it's all perfect again. That's not reality. I mean, it's nice to watch in an hour-and-a-half movie, but in reality, that doesn't go away. And the child has to figure out how to manage it and deal with it. And there are some other, it's not just narcissism, but there are other relationship issues that are dealt with. And I so appreciated that. I thought that was a really wonderful vehicle for starting a discussion or making people think or letting people see that they aren't alone, because these characters aren't the only people in the world who have ever dealt with it. So if you're looking for a great read that maybe might serve as some therapy for you, I don't know. That was her last book. Funny Story by Emily Henry. It's really fantastic. It's probably my favorite one of her books, and I love her books. So check it out. Also, don't forget, if you want to read A Discovery of Witches or reread it, we have that real-time read-along going on. Be sure to check out Substack. I have plenty of reading for you there, and as well as all of the best discounts and pattern release information. So Substack, Mountain Song Designs; Ravelry, Jocelyn Peters or Mountain Song Designs; Etsy, MTN Song Designs; and Instagram, you'll find me as Mountain Song Designs. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I hope you're having a wonderful October and looking forward to Halloween as much as I am. And I hope that you'll consider knitting some of these patterns. Remember my witchy sale on the witch-inspired patterns. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. Sláinte and happy knitting.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads.